Won't go.
No, we won't go.
Monsanto has got to go.
Monsanto has got to go.
No more GMOs. Monsanto has got to go. No more GMOs.
Monsanto has to go. We don't want your GMO.
Hey ho!
We don't want your GMO.
Hey ho! We don't want your
We don't want your GMO. We don't want your GMO. Real food. No. No. No! Real food! No!
Real food! Real food!
No!
On 84%, dumped on 84% of GMO crops. Each year more and more is dumped because we now have super bugs and super weeds. And that's because the only ones that survive are the ones that then reproduce. Therefore, Monsanto has now pushed the USDA and the FDA to approve 2,4-D and other even stronger herbicides and pesticides like the ones that they sprayed over Vietnam, Agent Orange. Please, this is so anti-life, it's unbelievable. So, and they're also using Roundup as a desiccant to dry out non-GMO crops. It's unbelievable. I'm just going to list the crops because I think you deserve to know. Barley, these are non-organic, of course. Barley, but non-GMO. Barley, oats, flax, peas, lentils, and sugarcane, potatoes, beans, rice, and wheat. So, okay, the good news and the thing that's, running in parallel with all this stuff and which is making more and more progress in pushing out GMOs is you all probably know in Europe that when they labeled GMOs, that cleaned up the food system because people did not want to buy GMOs. Therefore, the grocery stores went to the suppliers. The suppliers went to the farmers. That is why Europe has almost no GMOs on the market there, except for animal feed, which they probably import from us. This is why labeling is so critical. So critical. Labeling gets rid of GMOs because when it's in the store, very few people will buy labeled GMOs, and they know it. That's why they're fighting labeling so hard, and that's why we're fighting so hard to get labeling. Okay, here's some countries that have banned GMO crops. Switzerland, Australia, China, India, France, Germany, Hungary, Luxembourg, Greece, Bulgaria, Poland, Italy, and Russia. I mean, how is that? Is that awesome? And so Roundup, whose main ingredient, the active ingredient is called glyphosate, the World Health Organization just determined that glyphosate is a human carcinogen. Can you imagine the pushback they're getting from Monsanto? This is real, folks. If people eat GMOs with saturated with Roundup and non-GMOs saturated with Roundup, it's carcinogenic among other things. Probable human carcinogen, thank you. But can you imagine what they had to go through to release that? All right, on another part of where we're making progress and where we can really push, this is very, very exciting. People in China, many people are starting to resist and say they don't want GMOs, and this has gotten to the Chinese government. So here is an awesome thing that's happening now. The Institute for Responsible Technology has translated into, or has put subtitles on their awesome film called Genetic Roulette. And they are going to release that into however they release it, probably people here sending it to people in China. So please, if you're not on the email list, get on there because we want to get this film to everybody that we know that has relatives or people in China. This can be the total changer of everything, the total changer. Plus, of course, growing your own food if you can, farmers markets, community supported agriculture, all those awesome things that I'm sure most of you are already doing. So, okay, I'm going to turn this over now to Nancy.
My name is Nancy, and I've been one of the many volunteers this morning who have gone around asking you if you would sign a petition in support of the California Disclose Act. Thank you. I think almost everybody signed. But just let me remind you, the California Disclose Act is a piece of pending legislation in the California State Assembly, and it would require the top 3 funders of political advertisements to be clearly identified on the face of the ads themselves. Now, not too many years ago, as you know, the ballot measure requiring the labeling of GMOs was ahead in the polls. However, at the last minute, a bunch of ads came out opposing the labeling, and it lost by a very few percentage points, 2 percentage points. Don't you think if the voters who looked at those ads had known that it was Monsanto paying for those ads, that the vote would have been different? That's why the California Disclose Act is so important. In the future, if the Disclose Act were passed, voters would know that Monsanto, whose name would be listed clearly on the face of the ad, was actually paying for that ad.
Senators who both rank with the president in opposing TPP in its current form. And so we need to continue to put pressure both on the president as well as our legislators in Washington, D.C. on TPP. But on the issue of TPP, on GMOs, on campaign finance reform, a whole host of issues, there's a great opportunity to bring the community together to talk about these issues in a very meaningful manner. And that's at the U.S. Social Forum, which is June 24th to the 28th. There's only 2 places in the country where this is happening, in Philadelphia and right here in San Jose. So we are honored to be one of the host cities, and it's going to be appropriately so at the Washington United Youth Center. But there's a number of great organizations involved, including Move to Amend, Silicon Valley Debug, San Jose Peace and Justice Center, and a host of other really great organizations. And it'll be a great opportunity for all of us to connect together, to connect with others, maybe working on other issues, maybe not GMO issues, but the way that I like to see it is we're all connected. All these issues are ultimately connected when it comes to social justice. And so I think it will be a great opportunity for you to meet some new people, expand your network. When you have a march, they show up, or they have a march, you show up, and that's how you build collective power. And so again, U.S. Social Forum here in San Jose, June 24th to 28th. I know it will be up on Facebook and other venues as far as getting the word out, but just keep it in your mind, maybe pencil it in your own personal calendar for now, and you'll hear more about it in the next month's coming. Let me see if I have the website here. Okay. ussocialforum.net. Okay, so ussocialforum.net. And if any of you want to be more formally involved in the program, you can let me know as well. So I can let Shamaka Noble, one of the founders of Hip Hop Congress, he's one of the main organizers, and I'm sure he'd be happy to hear from some of you on how you want to get more involved. So again, thank you all for being here, and I hope to see you at the Social Forum.